You probably not have heard this before, but the Highpointers Club is my life. Let me explain. Now, I first came aware of the Highpointers in the mid-1980s. I did see that ad in the Outside magazine in 1986 by Jack Lonaker, and I went out and quickly purchased the book by Frank Ashley, The High Points of the States, that was published in 1970. Now, at the time, I was finishing a couple master's degrees at UCLA, and I thought there's no better way to procrastinate, finishing 2 master's theses, than to dream up what I want to do next instead of doing my work. So I got enchanted with the idea, and went on, climbed Mount Whitney, the high point in Hawaii, Mauna Kea, thank you. But it can't stop there. That went on, started climbing Mount Kilimanjaro multiple times, and lots of other mountains. But the whole idea of high points of the States really intrigued me, but I never made it to a convention. Well, fast forward, in 2013, I was diagnosed with idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. I was wondering why the last few times I tried Kilimanjaro, I had to quit at 17,000 feet. I thought it was just out of shape, but things weren't working. And it turns out in 2013, my older brother died at age 59 of the same disease in a hospital at USC Los Angeles, waiting for a transplant. Well, I told that to my doctor. I had a cough that did not disappear, and they put me on fast track. Fast forward to this last year, they put me on the list for getting a double lung transplant, and then the waiting game begins. It takes up to 2 years to get a lung transplant. Well, I probably had only a few months left to live. I started meeting at the recommendation of my transplant team with a psychologist. And this psychologist was one who specialized with people with chronic illness and people actually with fatal illnesses. And he told me, why don't you come up with a couple bucket lists. One is the pre-transplant bucket list, in case the transplant doesn't come or you die in the midst of the operation or what have you, and the post-transplant bucket list. So the pre-transplant bucket list was really short. I want to see my son graduate with his AA degree. I want to get right with everybody I needed to get right with. I also want to get my will in order, which I think, shout out to Dave Curville of the Highpointers Foundation. It's a good time. It's better now than let somebody else decide what happens to your estate. In any case, got all that done. But then I had post-transplant. If by some miracle I would survive. And I came up with a list of things. I'd like to see my son graduate with his BA degree, not just his AA. I want to finally clean out the garage for my wife, and a few other things. But go to all the national parks with Nancy, who was so supportive. But also want to start climbing at least half the high pointers. And that goal just kept me going. And June 21, last year, I had a double lung transplant after 2.5 hours. After 2 weeks in ICU in the hospital, I came home, and the first thing I wanted to do was look up and join the Highpointers Club and register for here, and got room number 101, and here we are. I've already done 3, and I did 2 before the transplant, and I'm not sure how far I'm going to go, but this organization saved my life. So thank you. Thank you, Dave.